Greetings, fellow men of culture. I come to you live from the peak of Thundercock Mountain with news most dire. To the surprise of nobody, Highguard isn't doing very well. The video game equivalent of the number 0 is not maintaining many players after only one day. The very millisecond the term Concord 2.0 was uttered by a single soul to describe this game, developers Wildlight Entertainment should have kept the basic gunplay and restarted on every other aspect of the game. The best word I can use to describe the Highguard experience as a whole is apathy. It's plain white Dunder Mifflin paper. It's boiled chicken breast. It's like watching golf.
There's the stinger. What was that shit? Did somebody scream mashed potatoes?
I could go on, and I will. Playing Highguard is like going to work in a generic, fluorescent lit office. It's Steve from Toronto. It's plain white toast. It's bland. In case you don't know, Highguard was revealed at the Game Awards 2025 as the end of the show big reveal, bait and switching the audience by saying the Titanfall and Apex guys were working on it.
Welcome to Highguard.
Into lands uncharted and dangers untold.
We don't know exactly how many people from those teams are on Highguard, but just invoking those names sets expectations sky high. Titanfall 2 is easily one of the best feeling and playing first-person shooters of all time. EA infamously sent it out to die by releasing it right in the middle of a Battlefield and Call of Duty launch. That community has been on severe psychiatric watch for years now, making sure to encourage fellow pilots to take their pills, and making weapon tier lists for Titanfall 3, which doesn't exist. That exact gunplay transferred over to Apex Legends, which is similar to Titanfall in feel, but worse in every other way since it's a live service battle royale. One of the very few good things I can say about Highguard is the gunplay feels pretty good. Wildlight knows how to make a first-person shooter feel good to play, but the rest of the game's design is bland at best, baffling at worst. I've only played 5 matches in total, and I'm satisfied with never playing it again. And I know I'm not alone. The Steam chart numbers are not Concord pull-the-plug levels, but it's not looking good. Popular games usually don't hit their all-time peak until a few days after launch. It seems everyone who is interested has already tried it on launch day. The reviews aren't any better, sitting at mostly negative at the time of writing. The developers described the game as a PvP raid shooter, an odd choice of words considering each match is made up of 2 teams of 3 players each, on massive maps, making the general gameplay feel nothing like how I imagine a raid would play. I think 3v3 is too small for the size of the maps. Gunfights are pretty much relegated to the bases, which are kind of like team deathmatch in their size and design. Having teams be so sparse makes it unlikely you'll encounter the enemy team until it's time to get the shield breaker, and it doesn't really feel like an epic raid when it's just a couple of dudes running around. There are a handful of different characters that have their own abilities, ultimate moves, voice lines, and whatever. I just can't care about this shit. These characters might as well just be designated by shape. I don't care about their names or their backstories. I've just moved on completely from hero shooters along with the rest of the world.
Do you think that I'm retarded?
Whatever you see happening in this game as far as characters and their abilities are concerned, Blizzard already did it in 2017 with Overwatch 1, and whatever they missed, Vanguard did. The goal of the game is to reduce your opponent's base health to 0. Every round is split up into phases. You start the match picking your loadout and setting up base defenses. After a bit, the game turns into a battle royale with long respawns. Both team bases open up and you run around a massive map looking for rocks to use as currency, as well as chests that contain weapons and other upgrades, with the quality denoted by color like every other battle royale. You can encounter and fight the enemy team while looting during this phase. A magical MacGuffin called the Swordbreaker will eventually spawn somewhere on the map and pretty much forces team fights since it's so important. Shieldbreaker is a sword-looking thing that one player can possess at a time. Player wielding the Shieldbreaker must run it to the enemy base and stick it in there firmly and with confidence. You can kill the player holding the Shieldbreaker and take it for your team. It's essentially reverse capture the flag. Once a base shield is down, attackers need to blow up 2 generators inside, and defenders need to stop them. The attacking team has limited respawns during this phase. If they run out, they take damage to their base for a failed raid. Each generator destroyed will deal 35 damage to the defender's base, and if their core is destroyed, it's game over regardless of how much health your base has left. This 3-phase rotation repeats until one team is out of health, with each round upping potential for higher quality weapons and armor. If any of these gameplay aspects sound familiar, it's because Highguard takes aspects of every single successful live service shooter game and puts them all together, and it doesn't really feel like it knows why. The base defense is like Rainbow Six Siege with far less penalty for mistakes or sense of urgency. Buying weapons and armor, as well as bomb planting, is right out of Counter-Strike. Running around looting chests is every battle royale ever. The hero shooter aspects are of course pretty passé in the current gaming marketplace. Those are straight from every other hero shooter like Overwatch and Marvel Rivals. Which leads me to my biggest question. Who is this game for exactly? Every subgenre of FPS this game represents has already been done much better. There's no way in hell a Rainbow Six Siege player is switching to this. Counter-Strike 2 is so firmly planted in PC gaming culture and generally beloved that I don't think any game is going to hold those players' attention for long. The hero shooter genre has long past its glory days. Many games have already died trying to capitalize on the trend even when the genre was much more popular. Overwatch 2 is kinda there, and Marvel Rivals honestly beats the shit out of every other game that even dares nibble its supple nutsack. Every aspect of Highguard is heavily inspired by other games, but there's so much genre mixing in there it can't possibly please players that are already ride or die for another game. Highguard kinda feels like an over-designed Apex Legends. That's the nicest thing I can say about it besides the gunplay. The hundreds of thousands of people that play Fortnite or Apex have invested so much time and money into their game already, a half-baked kind of battle royale isn't going to entice them. The usual suspects have come out in Highguard's defense because some of their Concord buddies worked on it. GameSpot is really trying to make this game seem like a bigger deal.
Base-destroying scope of the space battles of Star Wars Battlefront 2.
This guy sounds like the world's first anally delivered straight lesbian.
Every single playable character in Highguard is ridiculously f***ing hot.
Jesus Christ. I really don't want this game to be compared to Concord.
I would risk it all for Scarlet, Kai, or Condor.
Putting it on a little thick though. Jeff Keighley's also got that shining white armor on, since apparently he was the one pushing to get this game a spotlight at the Game Awards. Polygon might be the worst source to trust in the quality of a game, Jeffrey. I know a lot of people are really hoping Highguard turns out to be Concord 2.0, but I don't think that's the case. Most of those negative Steam reviews are from people that installed the game, sit on the main menu for 5 minutes, and then left a review. Concord couldn't even dream of nearly 100,000 peak player count. Quality overall is much higher, it's just that this game has no reason to exist. Nobody was asking for it, it's definitely not unique. Highguard doesn't fill any demand in the market at all. It's the quintessential 5 out of 10 game. It's not awful, but it's not good. I don't see how a game like this can possibly survive, let alone get new content. The whole live service model depends on return players spending money, and in return the game gets fresh content. People aren't coming back. It doesn't matter how many cool skins you can buy or a battle pass. Enough people need to love the game enough to buy stuff. As it stands, it looks like Highguard might be DOA. And that's kind of a shame since there is something in there that could be a good game. I know people really want this to be a Concord crash and burn, but as it stands, Highguard is just kind of nothing. And I don't know what's worse. If you liked the video, I would appreciate a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.